You should get a van. Okay. Can you use propane in your car? I don't really like use propane in the car. I have the back door open. Okay. I'm gonna start going through the questions. I'm gonna just check the comments really quick, but any questions you want answered, please use the question box because I'm just gonna go off of that for now. You finally got the fridge to work? Yes, I did. Thankfully. I just am waiting for another cord. Yeah, the rice is pre-cooked. It's just like minute rice, like the stuff that you would throw in the microwave. I just basically steam it when I cook it with the chicken like juice. I love watching your lives. You're so real, unlike most people. Oh, thanks, Jessica. I cook on a like 1-burner stove that just screws right into a propane bottle. All right, I think I went to get a bowl of cereal. Nice. I think I caught up. Hi, guys. Okay, let's do these. Okay, let's start with this one. Have you been surprised by bad storms? Pippa scared. I'm guessing you're asking for the first part of the question. Hi, Ressa. If Pippa gets scared by storms? And no, she doesn't. She doesn't have any sort of like thunder or lightning or anything anxiety. She's always just not cared that much. I think she like gets a little anxious if she can tell that I am, but we also lived in Nashville and Indiana, both of which got tornadoes and stuff and severe weather. So she's kind of been around it. But have you been surprised by bad storms? Only the very first time I took out the RV. So I used to have an RV before I had my car, and the very first trip we took to South Dakota was to De Smet, South Dakota, to camp on the Ingalls homestead. And that was my like shakedown trip for the RV, and there was severe weather, funnel clouds, hail, cloud to ground lightning, like scary stuff. And like the woman who like ran the campground was like, hey, it's just you and like 2 other people here. If there's a tornado, just go to the shower house. And like that was all she said. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because I was like, well, I have lived in Indiana. I know what tornadoes and stuff are and blah, blah, blah. And this storm was like way wilder than any of the Indiana storms because South Dakota is so flat. Like you can see for miles and miles and miles. So luckily, I had my weather radio and knew obviously the county we were in, and I had cell phone service, and I just sat with my ear like glued to it, and it missed like the severe part of the storm, missed where I was staying by like literally 10 miles. So I could see the whole thing happening like as it was going by, and it was one of the scariest nights I've ever had in my life, like in a house or not, the fact that I could see it all. So from then on is when I put like all my weather related stuff that I talked about in my weather video on YouTube into place, and I've never had a problem since. So that's the only one, and it was the very first trip we did in the RV. And obviously we were fine, thankfully. but that could have gotten ugly in an RV very quickly because of the high winds. So that is that on that one. What are you cooking? I already had chicken and rice. How much per day would it cost to do van life? I don't know if you're here, Mama Barb. But I don't know what it costs everybody. It's gonna really depend on your... Okay, are you asking for me? Or are you asking in general? How much per day it would cost to do van life? Are you asking like the style that I travel? Or like in general? In a van. Well, I don't live in a van, so I don't know. So I'll give you like my costs, I guess. So general. Well, it depends on if... Okay, so for me, I have a hard time knowing what everybody else spends. So for me, my highest that I spend a month is around $1,200 to $1,400 a month. And that's in the summer, eating out a lot more, and driving a lot more. Right now, in the winter, I've been staying in kind of the same location, so it's costing me around $800 a month. But I don't have a car payment, and I'm not driving a lot. And I'm not eating out because there's nowhere to eat out here. Like, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. Like, the closest McDonald's even is a half hour from me. Yeah, I stay where it's free. I don't pay for any campsites. I haven't paid for a campsite in this car ever. So, your lifestyle and how you like to travel really determines how cheaply you can do this for and how expensively you can do this for. So you can make this as expensive as owning a home if you want to. Like, there are rigs out there that have every bell and whistle you can think of, and you could have as much as a mortgage payment on that vehicle. And for me, I mean, this car was like $2,000. It's completely paid off. I paid for it in cash. It has minimal maintenance that I need to do to it. It's in really good condition, for being a 20+ year old vehicle, basically. I guess just 20 years old. So it's pretty inexpensive for me. And I do have people tell me that like $1,200 sounds high, but it's because I give myself a $400 gas budget every month. So that fluctuates so much, and that just gets rolled into my savings if I don't use it, or I just work less if I know I'm not going to travel as much. But I don't put like a limit on my eating then because of that. So like, if I want to eat out, I'm fine with it. Like, I give myself a pretty hefty budget for gas and food because like I can be a little more lenient with that because I don't have a car payment and because I don't pay for camping. My car insurance is low, so I pay $200 every 6 months. So $400 a year. I don't pay for it monthly. I pay for it every 6 months. I have a video recorded for my full budget breakdown for YouTube, that's coming out soon. But it doesn't cost a lot to live like this, but it can. It just depends on what you're wanting your lifestyle to look like. I'd rather eat whatever I want and be able to drive wherever I want, so I make sacrifices on other things. And like, Pippa's food is expensive. I mean, she eats, food that's $20 for like a 4-pound bag of food. Like, I don't feed her really cheap stuff. But we can do that because I don't have a car payment and I don't have rent. If you guys have questions, please put them in the comment box. I'm going in order on the comment box. so I can be fair. The rice was pre-cooked. I already said that. I did not put garlic in this. Okay, so what do you miss most living in a home / apartment? Almost nothing, I'll be honest. At this point, I've talked about this a few times. Living in one place really doesn't do a lot for me, like mental health wise. It really like isn't good for me. So I don't miss a ton, but like obviously like on demand water, showers, toilets, I mean, that's always going to go on the list, but it's not something that I miss enough to keep me from living like this. It's not going to be something that like makes me go back just to have plumbing, basically. I did miss like refrigerated items, but now I have a fridge for the car, so that's going to be easier. But other than that, not a whole lot. I'll be honest, not a whole lot. Maybe an air fryer, because that's how I used to cook a lot. But then I've gotten really used to cooking like this, so I've adjusted. It's not that big of a deal to me anymore. Especially like, I used to say bathtub and air fryer a lot. But when I went back to Tasha's and stayed at her house and house sat, and I had the access to the bathtub and I had the access to the air fryer, I was like, yeah, I missed it. But then I kind of like got it out of my system. And so I'm like, no. And like, when I was on my break, I didn't post about it, but I didn't stay there because it was so busy. But I did cheat, and I paid for a campsite at the KOA that's close to me, and I didn't stay there overnight because I knew it was going to be too loud, so I came back here because it's only like a few miles away from me. But I did go over there and like sat in their hot tub for like 2 hours with Pippa, because like at night because I could like leave her in the car, and then I came back and just slept over here. But that's how I got like the bathtub fix, like when I wanted to relax when I was on my break. So I just went and sat in the hot tub and then like jumped in the pool to rinse off because it was a saltwater pool, and that was it. That's how I did it. Do you have 2 phones? What do you go live on? Yes, I have 2 phones. I made the decision, when did I finally get 2 phones? Back in like November or December? I finally got my second phone. Having 1 phone plus going live plus like I was out of storage on my, like, this is like my personal phone, and this is technically the one that you're seeing it on is my work phone. Because it's just so much easier to keep like TikTok content saved on one phone, and like for my other job, like those photos and videos and stuff saved on this phone, and it not be clogging up my personal phone. And it's just worked out really well to have 2 separate phones. So I have like, neither of them are new. My phone I got like 3 years ago. It's paid off. I think it's like an iPhone 10, 11. I don't know which one I'm on. And then this one's like an old iPhone, like 8 or like an SE or something. It's like, neither of them are new. I don't have like an iPhone Pro Max 13 coolness. It's more just for function. And then I get phone calls and text messages for my day job. So that phone number now is linked with this phone, so I don't have to use mine in case it ever gets like hacked or something. So yes, I have 2 phones. But it's on a business plan through T-Mobile. So because it's I pay it through my business, I get 100 gigabytes of data per phone a month, like high speed. So that's how I do all this, is through my data. And I don't ever hit 100 gigabytes anymore. Yes, Bins, I did. Thank you if you donated. So I do everything on data. Yes, Pippa is eyeballing my bowl. Do you vape or anything? No, I don't. I guess we figured out the term on somebody's live. Maybe it was Hall's live. Maybe it was one of my lives. I am California sober. So I don't drink. I sometimes smoke other stuff. But I really like staying sober. I like to have a clear mind. I had an issue with alcohol. I'm 2+ years sober from alcohol. So, I've never vaped or smoked cigarettes regularly. I was like a social smoker, like when I was drinking, like when I would go out to bars and stuff, because I probably thought it made me look cool or something. But I never I don't think I've ever even bought like a pack of cigarettes or a vape pen on my own. The only thing I think I bought in college was when those, you remember those blue e-cigarettes came out, that were like super popular. I think I had like a few of those that I would bring to me, like bring it to the bar with me. And that was it. But no, never did that. But I also I try, because I struggled so much with alcohol, I try to stay away from substances in general that are mind altering, because I tend to use them only when I'm stressed about something. And I try to force myself to process those emotions instead of turning to a substance, because I already had a problem with that part. But I can't say that sometimes MJ doesn't help with some of that stuff in general, but it's not the same. I really love drinking. I'll always love the way that drinking makes me feel, so it's just not the same for me. So I just don't turn to it a whole lot. But I don't vape. I'm not even sure where to buy a vape, actually. Maybe I should try it. No, I probably shouldn't. It's probably really toxic. Anyways, I'd rather just eat something really bad for me, like a whole pizza or something. If I may ask, how do you support yourself financially? So TikTok is now my job, YouTube is now my job, Twitch is now my job, and I also have a day job of freelance work that I did from before. I've been self-employed since 2017, late 2017. And I was fortunate enough to stay self-employed this whole time, even through the pandemic. I used to be a salon owner. I'm not, obviously, anymore. But I'm self-employed. I can't talk about, some of the freelance work I do on TikTok because I'll get banned. I'm eating chicken and rice. I love how your pup is joining you in the conversation. No, she wants my food. Okay, did that one. Congratulations on almost 4 years clean. Congrats to you too. Congrats to everybody who shared about their sobriety. Sorry, I was talking too much. I kind of already answered this. Do you just pay regular car insurance? Yes. I do. What do you do for income? I just answered that. Do you have health insurance? Yes. So I'm self-employed, so I get my health insurance through just like Marketplace. I've never had health insurance through an employer, so I actually don't even know how that works. I've never worked a job that has had benefits. So I don't even know what that's like. I've literally never had benefits through a job. I've never had health insurance through a job. I got kicked off my parents' health insurance when I had cancer. And have had my own ever since through healthcare.gov. So I only know how to have health insurance that way. And it's actually really inexpensive. So based on last year's taxes, because I'm self-employed and can expense most of my travel expenses because I make travel content, I have insurance this year and I actually don't have to pay for it. It's $0 a month for me because I have public health insurance. So that's an aggressive fly. Where did that come from? So that's that. Go away. Pippa, get your fly friend out. Where is it? Oh, it went out, but then it got stuck in the thing. Can we get a tour? I'm new. Not right now, Christy, but I encourage you to check out my YouTube channel. I do have a car tour on there. It's not super up to date now that I just took out my passenger seat, but it'll give you like a good overview of the car. But right now I'm eating and answering questions, so I'm not gonna like open up everything and do a car tour. But my YouTube channel has two. One is the very first video I ever put on YouTube, and the other one is like, I think I labeled it car tour, and it's from this like September, I think. And that was my current car setup until like 3 days ago. Oops. Where are we tipping and how can we do it? Okay, so if anybody wants to support Pippa and I really encourage you to not use gifts through TikTok. They will eventually get turned off, but the gifts on TikTok is scamming you, and for me to cash out $50 would cost you over $200 in gifts, and I think that is appalling. So if you do want to support Pippa and I and tip us, there is a link in my beacons link in my profile that says like tip Pippa, or like give Pippa a gift, or tip me or something like that, and that goes through PayPal. And then my Venmo and my Cash App are both my username, so just Brooke and Pippa. And then you can ensure that TikTok is not getting any of the percent of that, and that it's actually going to us instead of a huge corporation that doesn't need your money and doesn't deserve your money. So thank you for wanting to support Pippa and I, but I don't want you to waste your money either on TikTok gifts. They're a scam. End of that. Do you have any hobbies that you do? Not a ton that aren't social media related, I guess, at this point. But my biggest hobby is like, I like little puzzle games and stuff. So at night, when I'm done with my phone, I'll just like play music, and I will do Sudoku on like paper and just like relax for a while off my phone. And I like all like puzzle kinds of things. So I also play like those puzzle games on my phone too, like Best Fiends and stuff like that. Just kind of like mindless little things to just kind of like wind down. I don't know if that's a hobby or not, but I guess it's mine. I do go for walks and stuff with Pippa. I would say like listening to podcasts, stuff like that is like part of my hobbies at this point. Obviously, researching and looking up like new locations to go visit is one of my hobbies. Astrology is a big one of my hobbies. I love researching birth charts, all things astrology. It's something that really interests me, and I could do it literally like all day long. And so, just like a lot of that kind of stuff are my hobbies. Watching, like, and I feel like now, like, this content creation thing and like figuring out how to like make this work as a job has become like kind of a hobby for me, because I've just really enjoyed like the researching part as well. So it's kind of fun to like learn like new stuff. I'm very much one of those people that like, if something interests me, I will go look it up and I will like try to find out as much as I can about it. So just those kinds of things. But obviously like talking and hanging out with you guys and all of that, I mean, I would consider that part of like a hobby for me, even though we're kind of switching gears. It's, even if it is part of my job, it's something that I really enjoy. It's not that I hate it or anything. Like, nobody has to twist my arm to like be live on TikTok. Like, I really just enjoy it. There you go. Okay. Oops. What do you and Pippa enjoy most at nighttime? Probably just like our little, like we do like a night walk and we go like hang out outside once it gets cooled down. I mean, and we have our little like cuddle time and stuff, and we do that at night. Are you smelling it for more food? No more. It's all gone. And that's when we do some of like her little training things. Like her night walks are when I like grab treats and we just like practice like her staying next to me, her recall. Cause in the morning when she's like fresh, she gets to go on like her smell walk where she kind of like leads the walk, and the night walk is more of like our little refresh time to make sure she's gonna behave when I'm giving her like free rein. But she's a good dog, so she doesn't need a lot of that. So, but she likes the food involved with it. But Pippa's pretty chill. She doesn't need a whole lot. So usually it's just me listening to music and she gets to hang out. What made you live in your vehicle? I would say this is like a long answer. So I would check out my YouTube video of like why I moved in my car, because that's going to be like the really like long version. But the short version basically was that I was already on the road. Pippa got attacked by another dog in an RV park. And so we had to move back into a rental for a little bit so she could recover. And I really wanted to get back on the road, but what are you doing? I really wanted to get back on the road, so I was going to work seasonally, and I had picked up a job in Alaska, and the Alaska job didn't work out at all. So Pippa and I came back like 3 weeks after we had started working in Alaska, to no apartment and only the car. So I literally said like, either we struggle and like figure this out, because I only had enough money to like rent a hotel for like 2 weeks, or I was like, or we just do what we did in the RV and we just do it in the car. So we spent a couple nights recovering in the hotel, And then I started to build out the car while living in it. So we've been on the road then ever since, and it's been working out really well, but it was a little rough at the beginning, but it worked out. Did a fly get you? Yeah. You're all right. I know you want snacks too, don't ya? Oh, you want a treat for eating my food? Is that what you want? Okay. Do you pay for storage for anything? So I do have a storage unit. It is in Denver, of all places, randomly. And the only thing in that storage unit, though, is my back seats, which I don't need, but they're in there because that's the only place I had to put them when I took the back seats out. And I have a like tote that's the same as like that box that I have my clothes in the back. And I have a tote about that size of like memory box kind of items. So they're like stuff from my grandparents that got passed down, all my old journals, like stuff like that, that's in storage that I didn't want to be carrying around in the car with me. And then I do keep some like winter stuff in there that I haven't needed to go get or use, but there's really not that much in there. And I've been toying with the idea of not having the storage unit, but I'm gonna keep it for now because I mean it's expensive to have storage for like almost nothing, but it is nice that I can just go throw stuff in there and I don't have to drive around with it in the car if I don't feel like. But I do keep mostly everything I need in the car with me at all times. There's not a lot of stuff that gets left in there. Do you drive around all day or do you park? I don't drive around all day. I travel like I'm camping. So I go to a campsite and like set up and hang out. Thank you. You're welcome. What is your favorite color? It is green. Green's my favorite color. Do you have any siblings? Yes, I have a younger sister, but her and I don't speak. Do you play Wordle? No. I missed literally all of that. So I have no idea what it is or what the deal is with it, but yeah, I missed that whole thing. Do you ever watch any shows while relaxing? Yeah, so every once in a while I will. I'm not a huge TV watcher. I'm not a huge like movie watcher, Netflix person. I just don't watch a lot of anything. But when I do, I'll watch like Below Deck or like SNL and like catch up on those. I just recently rewatched Boy Meets World because it was on Disney Plus. And I just caught up on the last season of Below Deck. But if I'm watching TV, it's usually like while I'm doing something else. So, it's never anything that's like more than background. And I don't really watch TV at night, so not really. It's not that relaxing to me to just sit and watch TV. I don't really like it. What is your favorite song and band? I don't know if I can answer that. I don't really know. I go through like phases with music. I don't really think I have like an all-time favorite song either. I don't really know how to answer that. I listen to more like just like alternative kind of pop stuff, like stuff that I was playing earlier. Just kind of like something that's more like bopping around. But I'm not like a huge like music, like I like listening to music, but I'm not like a huge like music person. Like I'm not into like knowing all the ins and outs of like everything around music. I just am like, if I find somebody that I like, I will continue to listen to them, or like let Spotify or like Apple Music kind of like match me with more people like that artist, and I'll kind of find new people that way. But I don't really go to concerts. I don't really have like a ton of like favorites like that, unfortunately. So sorry on that one. Have you been all over the US or stay in a few states? Both. I've been all over the US pretty much. I think I've been to every state except for like 5 or 6 I think that I need left, but I don't keep track of it like that. Most of that though was from like all-time travel, not really in the last 2 years, because in the last 2 years I've stayed pretty much out west. I don't really go back east at all anymore. I prefer the weather out here, and I prefer the amount of free camping out west, so I just have no desire to go back east. At some point I'm sure that I will make the jump and do it, because I don't know, it's just part of the US, but I just prefer to stay out west. So I usually stay like Arizona, Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota, Colorado. Did I say Colorado already? Yeah. South Dakota, a little bit of Montana, a little bit of like Nebraska sometimes, a little bit of New Mexico sometimes. It just kind of depends. But I really just kind of stay in this like middle strip of the West. I like it here. How old is Pippa? Pippa is 9. Do you ever get scared being alone? No, not really. And if I do feel scared, I don't continue to stay in that location or that situation. But I've always traveled by myself, so it really doesn't freak me out. Is there a place you visited but hated it? Yeah. A lot of places I've visited I've hated. One that comes to mind that I literally was like trapped there was Put-in Bay in Ohio. It's an island you have to ferry to in Ohio, and I stayed at the state park there, and I didn't know that you had to or I didn't know it was such like a party place, and it was awful. It was like the worst night of my life, and there was like a hatching of like 1,000,001 like mayflies that summer, and I like freaked out and left, and I went to a hotel like the second that I could get off the island. Thanks Clarissa for the so So yeah, Put-in-Bay is like the most memorable one. Also Montana, I don't like at all, really. There's like one lake that I found last summer that I like to go to in Montana, and I stayed there for like 2 weeks, and it was gorgeous and amazing. But other than that, like, fuck Montana. It was not my favorite. Remove. How long have you been traveling? I've been on the road since August of 2020 full time, but I've been traveling like my whole life. My dad traveled for work, and I've had a passport since I was a child. Like, travel has always been like a large part of my life. I studied abroad in college. I've always done that. You're welcome. My name is Clarissa, but go by Ressa. Oh, sorry. It says people's like full name in the tipping thing. So sorry. But yeah, I've always had some sort of travel in my life. But for this round, I've been full-time since August of 2020. How do you get internet in the middle of nowhere? I use the data plan on my phone. I have a business plan. So I get 200 gigabytes of high-speed data, and then unlimited after that. Just might be slower, but I never use all 200. No, you're fine. I was just staring. Okay, good. I know some people have like names they don't like said, so what kind of dog insurance do you recommend? Dog insurance is kind of hard. I have Pippa. I used to have nationwide pet insurance for Pippa, or whatever it's called now, but it was like Nationwide's branch of pet insurance. But now that Pippa is getting older, I'm trying to look for insurance that fits her needs a little bit better, because I don't need as much coverage on like preventative care. I need more on like, you know, older senior dog care that could be, you know, tests for cancer, you know, tests for tumors, like, you know, older dogs just get growths and stuff. Her collapsing trachea, medication, accidents, and like more emergency kind of care, and less like puppy getting lots of shots, you know, and stuff like that kind of care. So I'm considering switching from Nationwide to, I think it's called Embrace Pet Insurance, but I would just like shop around for whatever your dog kind of needs. I'm not like a insurance broker for pets, but I do think that it's worked for Pippa and I, because Pippa has like kind of been accident prone, and also like with pet insurance it works different from human insurance, where I can take Pippa to any vet and just submit the claim and get a percentage back. So instead of having like, you know, one of those like plans or something with your vet specifically, I can take Pippa anywhere, and they'll cover whatever, you know, you've made the deal with in your plan, and then, you know, you pay the deductible as well. But I like the fact that I can take her into any emergency vet or any vet across the country and have the insurance as the backup, instead of having like an individual like wellness plan with like a vet in like one town, if that makes sense. But I did open recently Pippa her own little like Pippa credit card, or not like credit card, like debit card and like savings account for her like dental cleanings and shots and stuff, just to keep that separate for just Pippa's needs, because the new plan won't cover routine stuff like that. But I would shop around. What would you charge for an astrology report? I think what I said was $125 if I do it live on Twitch, because then you can have it be in front of everyone. So if you wanted to do it live in front of everybody on Twitch, it's $125 for an hour and a half for your reading, and that would include going over your birth chart, any questions you would have about that, And then looking at like your astrocartography, like any kind of like locations for jobs or vacations or just like significant locations in the US. And then if you wanted to do it privately, it would be $175 for the same amount of time. And you could ask whatever. But I don't really have anything set up right now to like do that right this second. But I'm still open to accepting them. I just need to figure out the best way to like have a link for that for people to be able to like book them. Do you have a best in-person friend? Yeah. I'm not going to tell you who they are though, because they don't want to be online. But yeah. How long do you stay in one spot? It just depends. In the summer, sometimes it's 2 days and I'm over it. Sometimes it's a full 2 weeks. Sometimes it's a week and then I freak out and want to leave. It just depends. Right now, I've been in the same general area for 2 months. So it just depends. I can never predict how long I will be somewhere. Which is why it makes it harder to like meet up with people. Did you make it to Utah yet? That's where I'm at. Yeah, I went through Utah back in October, I want to say. Oh, I already answered about the astrology. Where did you go to college? I went to Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. I have my bachelor's from there. Boiler up. How long do you plan to travel in your car? I have no clue, as long as it makes me happy. A mystery answer about the astrology. Can you answer again? I said 125 for 90 minutes if I do it live on Twitch, and 175 if I do it in person or on the phone with you, like alone. And that includes going over your birth chart and then any astrocartography / any questions, but just more like stuff that I see. But I don't really have like a good way to like book that yet. That's what I was saying about that part. So I'm still open to doing them. I just don't have a good way to like figure out like a booking link for that. So maybe just like email me if that's something you're interested in. My email is like in my it's not linked, it's in my bio. Do you have a favorite restaurant or meal? I would say restaurant. Not really restaurant. Well, I go to Chipotle a lot, I guess. Because it's like fast and filling and easy for me. But a favorite like restaurant, I guess, used to be Outback. I always just really like their ranch. That's always where I would pick to go to like for like birthdays and stuff, or like celebratory like things. And I think that's it. I really don't eat out a whole lot anymore. I already answered that. What provider do you use for your business data plan? I am through T-Mobile. Do you still miss your passenger chair? A little bit, but less. It's getting less every day. Are you able to save a lot of money now? I'm able to save money now. I'm able to like be financially stable now. I wouldn't say I'm like saving a lot of money currently because I'm transitioning from working a lot of hours like on my day job, but I'm trying to transition into social media, so I'm putting more time into things that aren't paying me as well right now. So I'm more like investing into my transition of my job instead of working just to save money. But my expenses are low enough that I'm able to do that. So I'm fortunate to be able to go after more of a dream job when maybe somebody couldn't, because I live this way and I don't have like rent due at the end of the month, and I don't have so much pressure because my bills that pull out of my account, like of things that I pay for like monthly, like my storage unit, my phone, like Netflix, or like Peacock, blah blah blah, anything like that, like all of those things that are like the same every single month, those all equal less than like $350 a month. So like if I want to buckle down and drive less and eat out less and like be more stingy with my groceries and stuff to be able to like transition into focusing on YouTube and things that don't make me like as much money as my day job does, I'm fortunate enough that I can do that right now. I already answered that. Oh my gosh, we're almost caught up. Are there any roadside markets around you? Yeah, there's a ton. And I always try to shop at those if there's something good, I guess, that I like. What's the question asked most often that you get tired of? Bathroom questions, hygiene questions. Hygiene questions drive me nuts because they basically imply that I'm dirty, and I don't like that. It drives me nuts that like people think that people who live in their car are dirty and unhygienic, because almost none of us are, because that would make living like this a living hell. Like, can you imagine feeling gross and dirty all the time 24/7? Like, hell no. So no, I don't like answering those. And I caught, before they got blocked, I don't like when old people with like old mentality basically say that I wasted my time with my education, that I'm still living in a car, and that just proves that their ideology about how things should go in this country is so wrong. Because yeah, I still had a bachelor's degree from a Big Ten university, and I studied abroad at Oxford University in the UK and had a minor from that. And yes, I still live in a car, and this still makes me so much happier than whatever the fuck I was going to do with that degree. So I don't really like that either. Like, I don't like that people think that like just because you're well educated you can't live the life of your dreams, because I somehow have to like prove my educatedness. I don't know, that sounded like I'm not educated, but like, you can be a highly educated person and still choose to live an alternative lifestyle. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that they're surprised that with as much education I have and I've continued to educate myself, why I wouldn't choose an alternative lifestyle when my generation of being a millennial has been blocked out of every single like opportunity that we could have had. Like, we are priced out of the housing market, we're priced out of our own jobs, we're priced out of our own loans and this and that. Like, why wouldn't I choose the opportunity that we could have had? Like, we are priced out of the housing market, we're priced out of our own jobs, we're priced out of our own loans and this and that. Like, why wouldn't I choose an alternative lifestyle so I can live the same life just 35 years earlier? Then I don't have to wait till I retire. So, who cares? Is the fridge working out? I don't know yet. I don't have all the right cords yet. I've only turned it on twice. I will update it. You guys will see the content when it comes out because the fridge is sponsored. The fridge is a brand deal. So you guys will see the content of the fridge in action. Don't worry. I will make sure I update everybody. How long are you in the car per day? Like, all day? Are you asking, like, how long I'm physically in the car all day? Or, like, this is my home, so if I want to sit down inside, like, I'm in the car, and then I sleep in here, so, at least 8 hours at night. I mean, I don't know how to answer that. How long are you outside your home a day? I guess. Like, I stood outside while I was organizing my clothes and stuff today. Does that count as being in my car? Like, I went for a walk with Pippa this morning. I don't know how to answer that. That feels a little weird of a question. I don't time it. Have you ever been married? No, and I've never been close. I actually haven't been in a, like, serious, fully monogamous, committed relationship since my early 20s. So, it's been almost a decade since I've been in, like, a monogamous, committed relationship. And I have no desire to be married in the future. Do you wish to have children someday? No, I have my tubes removed. Hi, Genesis. I do not want biological children. What made you decide to move into the car? I've already answered this one, but I also have a full YouTube channel video on it as well on my YouTube. It's just @Brookeandpippa. And it's on there. But basically just like a series of events like everybody else, with the pandemic and with wanting to travel and with jobs that didn't work out. And I like traveling. I mean, it's a tight spot. Are you outside more or in the car more? It depends on the time of year, the time of day, the weather. It just depends. Oops. What do you do with puppy while I work? This. I'm working right now. And I work from the front seat. So this is my office. This is my office. This is my home. This is where I sleep. This is my kitchen. This is my bedroom. This is it all. You didn't read mine. I know. Biggest misconception that you want to clarify. Oh, biggest misconception you want to clarify. The biggest misconception I want to clarify is that this is not a means to an end for paying off debt or buying a house. I'm not living in the car with a purpose to, like, pay off debt so I can buy a house or save up money to buy a house or like I'm only doing this because it was like a situation to get back to a brick and mortar home. I think a lot of people are constantly like wanting to like push me back into like an apartment and like a home because they're like, you must save a lot of money. You must want to save up for a house. And I don't want to. And like, sure, I want to pay off debt eventually, but I'd rather have the cash right now to be able to travel with. So I'm not really worried about that part. So I feel like people think that this is just like a middle ground, whereas this was the goal. Like, I'm living the goal. Like, I got the goal. Like, I'm very like happy and settled where I am right now in this situation. I may eventually want to save up for a van or something bigger that I can stand up in. I do say that a lot because I would like to be able to get dressed in the morning standing up. I've always been very honest about that, but it will still be another vehicle. It will not be a house. Like, that's the biggest difference. I think people think that this is like a means to an end, but they are the ones that made up the end. Whereas this is the end for me. Like, this is the goal, like feeling stable and happy. Like, I got it. I got my goal. I reached the goal. Do you ever get tired of being in your car? No, I don't. Do you stay in one place for a while or move around? Both. I do both. I've been like all over the place, like back to back, or I have stayed like in this location for like a month or like 2 months. Oh my gosh, my nose is bleeding. I must have had it that I've been picking at. So it just literally depends. Okay, I just asked because I get bored of being in my room. Yeah, but I can like just go outside. What kind of work do you do? Mostly social media at this point. Would you ever go on a TV about your life with Pippa? Like on an interview? I guess. I don't know about TV. TV, I'm not sure about because I would be afraid that they would spin it in a way that I didn't like. TV tends to do that. Like a TV show. Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on what it would be. I'd be afraid of what the spin would come out of that. I like to be in control of the narrative around my life because we've all seen online what happens when people connect the dots for themselves. So it would depend on what the TV show is. No RV again. Honestly, I'm not quite sure on the RV. I've thought about an RV again a lot of times, and I just don't know the benefit of an RV again. They're not very well made. They're really expensive right now, and I could build something better at this point than an RV situation if I like. There's a lot going on with RVs, and sometimes more complicated is not better. And so if I did like a van or a bus or something like that, it would be a very simple build. Simple for me works much, much better. Because when I had my RV, like the propane issues, the water issues, the plumbing issues, like there's not that many places you can take them to get worked on the engine. It's just a lot. And if you get into an accident with them, they literally like disintegrate into thin air. They're not very safe. Will you always have a dog with you? Love, Pippa. Yeah, probably. What are you most proud of about yourself? I think you've asked that for me before. I don't know what I answered at that time, but I think the most proud about myself, even though it's something that I also wish was not part of my life, that like I'm just like adaptable and can like survive almost anything. And that does make me proud, but I just wish I didn't have to do it all the time. I wish I didn't have to overcome so many random things and like feel like I'm just surviving a lot of the time in my life. But I think it's paying off that like I take everything as a challenge and try to overcome it instead of having more of like a victim mentality, because I used to really love being a victim, and I really loved that narrative that, you know, like everything's just happening to me and why, and you know, all that stuff. And so I'm kind of glad that I've learned how to flip the script and take it as a challenge instead of a hardship. But I mean, I wish bad things didn't happen to any of us, I guess. I wish there wasn't so much to overcome for anybody, but I guess if things are going to happen to me, I'd rather not whine about it. But if you want to whine about it, I don't think there's anything bad about that. I just think for me, it's just not productive anymore. And I was making excuses for myself to not pull myself out of the situation and educate myself and like work on things that I wanted to do, because I wanted to be the victim so bad. So I'm glad that I've kind of changed my tune about some of that stuff. So I'm pretty proud of that. Where is the most favorite place you have traveled? The most favorite place I've traveled has been probably, I don't know, Colorado. Colorado's always going to be my favorite. I really liked Silverton. Okay, guys. It is 4:22. I'm going to be done here in like 20 minutes. So either get your questions in or I don't know how to handle this, but I really probably should go here in like 20 minutes. I've been Q&Aing it for over an hour now. Do you build campfires at night? No. I don't like all my stuff to smell like smoke constantly. It's fun when you go like camping, but it's not so fun when it's like your house. I would just stop the questions and answer what's in already. Oh, yeah, I guess that's probably true. Well, I know where it ends, so if people have like a couple more, some of these aren't really questions. Like a TV show. Yeah, that was from earlier. Do you miss social life with friends and family? No. I didn't have a productive social life when I did have one. That was when I was like a fully functioning alcoholic, and those friends were not friends to me. They were just people to drink with. And a lot of my friends weren't very good friends. They were not very supportive friends. And my family, I have no contact with. So no, I don't miss any of that. And I still have social time. Like, we're having social time right now. So, and I meet up with people on the road, whether you guys see them or not. I do have other people in my life. So I have a social life. How old is Pippa? Do you want another dog? Pippa is 9. And I would not add another dog to our little family unless it was something that was like full on, like from the universe. Like, I could tell that this was something like meant to be kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, where it was like an undeniable connection for Pippa. But I will never seek out another dog while Pippa is still alive. At all. Would you consider getting another pet? No. Not a question, but you're such a positive person. Thank you. Pop-up trailers are easily to maintain. Yeah, but I can't pull one with this car. And I want to be able to keep Sheila, which is my car. So I don't want to trade her out just to get a pop-up. She also has no value. So how do you stay warm? I travel with the weather. Do you miss anything about living in a home? I answered this earlier, but not really. Do you drink anymore at all? No. I am over 2 years sober. Do you ever come to Texas? No, I hate Texas. How do you think this Q&A is going? I think it went really well. How do you guys think it went? I think this was a good idea. Do you carry a weapon for protection? I will never tell you. I think that's been good. I liked it. Barbara, we're not sending any roses anymore, but thank you. Barbara, we've determined that TikTok is a scammer. So we're not going to send gifts via TikTok anymore because TikTok is stealing your money. We did the math. If anybody wants to support Pippa and I, tip us, etc., we are doing it all now through Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo because TikTok is taking like literally 70% of your money, and I think that is like such a scam for you guys, and I don't want your money. I don't want you thinking your money is going to me and Pippa and it's really just going into TikTok's pocket. So once we did the math on that, I was like, oh no. So my Cash App and my Venmo is the same as my username. It's just Brooke and Pippa. And then my PayPal link is the first link in my Beacons link for tipping. The Q&A is over and I just figured it out. That's okay, Missy. There's going to be plenty of more times that we'll do this. We're trying out a new format and it seems to be going well. But did you see you're going to have to start paying taxes on Venmo, etc.? It's a new thing. Yes, I have a business account set up through Venmo. Don't worry, guys. I've been self-employed for a very long time. I am a-okay with it if it is a part of my income. I know that the tax system in this country is fucked, but I will pay my share even though I pay more than Jeff Bezos. Have you ever had any weirdos come up to your car? No. How long have you been living in your car? And then your question cut off, so I don't know what it says, but I've been in the car since May of 2021. You got that right. Yeah, I know how to do it all, guys. Like, it's fine. It's going to be fine. We're gonna figure it out. Guys, my best friend got sick with COVID last Friday, and by Monday on event, she died yesterday. Oh no, Barbara, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's awful. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna thank everybody that tipped today, even if they're not here, because I think you guys all deserve an extra little shout out because you guys are so freaking amazing. Thank you so much for supporting this new format and like Pippa and I. See, Barbara, you got all the love. We're sending good vibes your way. So I want to thank Jessica, Dana, Brandy, Dana again, Yaharia, Barbara, Jacqueline, Shandala, Lori, Christine, Halls, Jen, Ruth, Ashley, Mindy, Natasha, Sharon, Sarah, and Rissa. Thanks, guys. You guys are the best. You are so freaking sweet. And you're so freaking supportive. And I love you all. And I hope I didn't miss any while I was trying to read them in my comments. Or in my email. This was great, yes. Where did you find Pippa? She's perfect for you. From a rescue named Critter Calvary in Franklin, Tennessee. Thanks everyone. I talked to her every day for years. Oh. Well, you've got a bunch of support here, so we all have love for you, Barbara. It seemed like it went well. Nice new idea. Yes, it did go really well. I love your lives and Q&A. It's been great. Thank you. Yeah, and I'll edit this and I'll re-upload it onto YouTube. So if you guys only caught a little bit of it and you want to hear the rest of the Q&A, I'm going to upload it to YouTube as well. Since people crowdfunded for this time. If you didn't know, that's what we're doing now. I'm going to have a time set that in a daily goal of like an amount, and then we're going to crowdfund for that amount so then I can spend time answering questions. And I love that you guys kept all the questions pretty much like thoughtful and like unique. I haven't answered some of those before. So I loved all of that. And I'm gonna get off of here in like 5 minutes. I need to keep my boundaries going. I would love to send you and Pippa a donation, but I don't have Cash App or Venmo. My PayPal link is, if you use PayPal, is in my Beacons link on my profile. It says like tip us, and that goes through PayPal. And if you don't want to do any cash donating, but you still want to support Pippa and I, if you go to my YouTube channel and subscribe and watch a video or two, that puts cash straight into our pocket because my YouTube is monetized and it is free for you to watch and you get a lot of information. And if you don't do YouTube, if you go to my profile and like some of my TikToks, like don't like spam them, but like if you like a few of my TikToks and comment on them, that also helps the algorithm for me too. So, always appreciated, even if it's not monetary. You guys are all very important parts of my community. So it's great. Amazon wishlist. I do have an Amazon wishlist. There's not much on it anymore because you guys have been so kind and you've purchased everything. But I do have gift cards on the wish list as well for like PetSmart and Petco, because I don't want to order pet items that are food off of Amazon. I don't really trust it for some reason, so I have those gift cards on there and I will go pick up Pippa's food or something with those gift cards on that wish list. And I do have like Visa gift cards. I know some people don't want to tip in case like I'm on drugs or something. I don't know. People have said that before, that I'm just going to use like money for drugs, which I'm sober, so whatever. And I have Visa gift cards because I don't know how to buy drugs with Visa gift cards, I guess, to like pay for gas if you guys want to fill up our gas tank, or like I can use them at Walmart to go grocery shopping and stuff. Where do you get dog food? I get it at PetSmart and Petco. She gets Blue Buffalo dog food. So that's how I just decided to like do some of that, I guess. Have mercy. I know. I mean, I guess if I could find a drug dealer that takes a Visa gift card, that would be kind of cool. But I don't do any drugs, guys, except for like plants every once in a while. But I can just use my debit card for that at a dispensary. Yeah, I'm sure Tractor Supply is cheaper. But I just go to where it's convenient for me. Sometimes there's not a Tractor Supply everywhere I go. Well, this was nice and productive. I feel good about today. Thank you guys all for donating. I promise I won't do anything nefarious with your donations. I will just go ahead and pay my bills like a normal person. I'm glad that I got to hang out with you guys. Thank you for being so receptive to the new format. When do you start showing your way of life? All you have talked about is money. What? I just did an hour and a half of a Q&A. Oh, write a manual on how to live in the car successfully? Maybe one day. I don't know if I'm successful enough yet to write a manual on it, but once I feel like I have enough life experience, I will consider it. Ignore it. I know, but I was like, wait a second, what? Yeah, you guys were so close. I love you guys too. Okay, we're gonna end this on a positive note. All love. Just a couple trolls, nothing bad today. We did do good. And now Pippa and I are gonna go on a walk and enjoy the rest of our evening. I'm glad I got to spend a couple hours with you guys today. It's been fun. Thanks for being so sweet. Thanks for supporting. And we gotta do it again. We'll do it again. I have to go to town tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, but this weekend for sure. All right. Bye, guys. Bye. Thanks, mods. Bye.